So your website has the potential to be the most important asset for your business. Not only can it organically generate you clients every single day, every single week, 365 days a year, it can also bring you in income through other ways, such as advertising or affiliate marketing. The thing is, to benefit from all those things, you need to have a good, consistent stream of website traffic. And the problem is, if you have a website now, but you don't have website traffic, you're wasting all your time, all your energy, and your money on keeping your website up there when, in the grand scheme of things, it's ineffective because you're not getting the people to it to benefit from having it. This is obviously going to frustrate you and it's going to do your head in. It's going to make you feel like, why should I even spend money and time on a website when it's just set up there, not doing anything for me or for my business? It's just draining money out of my bank account for the subscription costs, and it's also costing me time from going on and changing things around, but nothing seems to be working. One of the main things that determines how much website traffic you get is SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. And the easiest way to think of this, it's like Google's way of rating your website, how accessible it is, how easy it is for people to navigate, how relevant it is to solving people's problems according to certain keywords. This is Google's way of rating your website. And simply, if Google doesn't rate your website, then it's not going to show it to a lot of people. On the other hand, if your website is relevant, it's clear, it's easy to navigate, it's mobile friendly, then it will show it to more people. So today I want to give you 6 top tips on how to improve your SEO strength on your website that you use for your business in order to generate more clients and more income from your website. When I first started my business, when I first started my first website, I had no idea about SEO. I didn't really know what it meant. I just thought, it's making sure that I get the metadata right for my website, that I just get the description and header sorted, and then that's it, job done. But I was very wrong. I actually did quite a lot of research after this about SEO. I did a lot of different things in order to improve my SEO, and honestly, the difference it made was unreal. Before I actually looked into my SEO, I was getting one person on average, 1 to 2 people on average a day view my website, which is absolutely nothing, right? However, when I implemented the things that I learned from researching about SEO, that actually 100 times my website traffic. And from there, I was getting 1 to 2, maybe even 300 people a day view my website. Now, I'm very lucky because I'm at a point where I don't have to go out and find clients quite as much because they're coming to me, because they're finding my website through blogs I'm putting out and through coming across me online on Google. So this is a position that I want you to get in today. So here are 6 top tips on how you can do just that. So your very first priority, in my opinion, should be to sign up to Google Search Console. This is Google's own free software that you can sign up to very easily today. And that's going to help you analyze how your website's performing. It's going to help you index your website onto Google if it isn't already. Index your blog posts, make sure things are getting seen, fix any errors that are on there, like broken website links and things like that, and also optimize your website so people can come across it more easily. With most website builders like Wix and Squarespace and WordPress, these will usually do the hard work for you. If you fill in your basic SEO information, they will usually get your website indexed for you. However, it's really worth just signing up just in case your website or some of your website, like your blog posts, aren't getting indexed. Because if they're not indexed on Google, then people aren't going to find them. Simple as that. And when I signed up to a website builder called Kajabi, as much as I love it, I have to admit I was very annoyed after 6 months of realizing that my website still had not got indexed onto Google. So it's definitely worth finding out. There's a very easy way to find out if your website is indexed on Google and if it's up on there. And that is simply by just typing in site, and then your website URL after, and you press enter into Google, search it, and then it'll come up with all the pages that are indexed on Google on your website, and also how they come across in terms of the description and the headings of each page. If you see nothing come up when you search for this, then that means that your website is not indexed on Google at all. So that's where you need to index your website through Google Search Network. Like I said, you can also analyze main keywords that are coming up for your website, how people are finding your website, what's sticking out, where they're coming across you. And this is really handy information to know, so then you can base future content and future blog posts around that. Speaking of blog posts, tip number 2 is to start releasing content, releasing blogs on your website on a regular basis. The one main thing that really helped my website grow was releasing blog posts. It does take a while for this to kick in, and not all the time your blog posts are indexed on Google right away. Sometimes it'll take a few days or a few weeks, depending on how strong your website's SEO is. However, when I created my first blog post, after 6 months, eventually Google indexed it, it started showing it to more people, and from there, that's where I started getting 200 to 300 people visiting a day. So releasing content is hands down the best way to get more traffic. Release weekly content that's relevant to your website, relevant to what you do, that's helpful, that includes certain keywords that you would like to show up for when people type them in Google. So for example, if you're a session drummer, then you want to create content and posts about session drumming, and use that keyword and keywords associated with that as often as possible, because the more you do, the more that certain keyword is dotted along your website, the more likely people are to find you due to that keyword. The way SEO usually snowballs is you are sort of buying a lottery ticket by creating a piece of content. You are creating another thing, like another link, another place where people can find you online. So every single bit of content you create, every blog post you create, it's like another lottery ticket online for you to get found. At the start, like I say, people aren't going to find you because you don't have that SEO yet. You don't have that basic level where people are going to find you. However, all you need is a bit of a lucky break, and you get that by releasing content and getting more lottery tickets. When someone finally finds your blog post on Google and they react to it well, they go through it all, they spend a long time on your page, they engage, they interact with it. From there, Google will sort of think, right, well, this person has spent a long time on this article, it's obviously helpful, so I'm going to start showing it to more people. From there, it's going to start showing it to more people, and hopefully those people will then react in the same way where they engage with it, they stay on the page for a while, and before you know it, it's showing it to hundreds of people a day. So in order for this to work as well, you see how important it is for your content to be relevant, for it to be helpful, for it to be easy to digest, because if people don't engage and interact with it well, then Google won't see it as relevant and your SEO will not improve. Number 3 is keywords, and as I briefly touched on in the second point, you need to constantly repeat the main keywords that you want to show up for in Google on your website. So for example, if you're a session drummer, you want to be repeating the word session drummer multiple times on your website wherever you can. Make sure it's in the main headline of your website. Make sure it's in the title of your website and your metadata. So your metadata is what shows up when people search for your website, and it has, a little description about your website. That is your metadata, and that is also very important. But you do need to keep repeating the main keyword that you want to be searched for as many times as possible throughout your website and on your content. So for example, my website for drum audio editing, I want to show up on Google when people type in drum editing. So I include the words drum editing all over my page, all over my homepage, all over my blogs, all over my articles, all over my portfolio. Everywhere I can possibly fit it in where it doesn't sound ridiculous, I'll repeat it over and over again. And now I am one of the highest searches, one of the highest websites that comes up when you search for drum editing. Given this is a bit of a niche anyway, and if you're wanting to promote your website as a session drummer, it will be a little bit more difficult, but if you put this work in, you will get there. The fourth way to improve your SEO strength is through what we call backlinks. And backlinks are essentially your website or your URL for your website being included on other people's websites. So you basically want to contact as many people in your niche or as many people in your network as possible who are relevant to what you provide services in, and try get your website linked on their website. One of the best ways to do this is to do featured blog posts or featured articles or content for other people. So not only are you benefiting that person by giving them a piece of content for their website, you're also getting yourself a backlink so you can get your URL on someone else's website. If the URL for your website is included on a lot of other websites, then it will see your website as relevant, as one of the top dogs in your little niche, because it's being shared about a lot by other websites. And of course, the bigger the website is that shares your URL, the bigger impact that will have on your SEO. So if you can sign up to sort of like a forum and post in there a lot, if you can post your content on other people's websites, then you can do that for sure. There's a website called Music Think Tank where you can literally just upload content to there and include your backlinks in there. I think you can only post once a month, but you sign up for free. You can release content there every month, include your backlinks on there, and that is also going to improve your SEO strength. The fifth way for you to strengthen your website SEO is to optimize your website for mobile users. Well over 60% of Google searches now come from mobile phones, so it's clear that mobiles are dominating the area in which people are searching for websites the most on. So it's important that you don't only focus on how your website looks on desktop versions and on laptops, but also on mobile phones as well. It frustrates me now that I still see people when I'm doing website reviews that don't optimize their websites for mobile users. You go into the mobile version and parts of the website are all skewed. Things are just all over the place. Things are weird sizes and just in random places, and certain links don't work as well. Google can tell this very easily, and if you don't have your website optimized for mobile, then that will instantly decrease your SEO strength, because Google doesn't want to be showing people your website if it's not going to give them the best experience possible. Google want to keep people on Google. They want to keep people searching. They want to keep people on their platform so they can show more ads to them. So if your website's garbage, it's not going to show them your website because it's going to deter them straight away, and they're potentially, just going to leave and do something else with the time instead. So if your website is optimized for mobile, then that is going to be massive for helping you improve your SEO strength. My sixth and final top tip for you to improve your SEO strength is to sign up to Google My Business. So if you type in a restaurant or anything now, you'll usually find that it comes up at the top of the Google search. It'll come up with the opening hours, it'll come up with a contact phone number, maybe an address, some pictures and some reviews. That is because they've got a Google My Business account. So you simply need to sign up to Google My Business, get your business registered on Google, associate that with your website by putting your website URL into your contact details. That is instantly going to improve your SEO. Google will instantly trust you more because you are registered as a business on their platform, and they will instantly associate that with your website because you've linked your website in the contact details. It's very easy to do. It also helps you show up much easier. You can associate certain keywords with your Google My Business account in the description of your business as well, so that also improves your chances of popping up as well. Of course, there's also many other plus sides to having a Google My Business account. The fact that people can go on there and they can review you as well, and the more reviews you get, the more places you will pop up as well. So it's important that when you have your Google My Business account, any review you have, politely ask people if they'll transfer that review onto Google for you, and that is going to do massive things for your SEO as well. So sign up to Google Search Console, upload regular content, focus on what main keywords you want to show up for, get as many backlinks for your website as possible, optimize it for mobile users, and sign up to Google My Business. You could very easily do most of these things in the space of one day and also create a couple of bits of content. Please don't spend any longer keeping your website up, spending your hard-earned money on a website that's ineffective, spending all that time tweaking little things that won't really have a difference. You need to work on your SEO so you can get more traffic and then monetize your website so you can flourish in your business.